let me go over to what Kelce said. Jason Kelce on his show New Heights, along with his brother Travis Kelce, they were talking about the fact that Jason, and the episode dropped today. It was like perfect timing. Great stuff. Very well done. This is probably slightly better timing than Jake Tapper's book coming out and then the Joe Biden cancer diagnosis getting revealed 2 days before the book came out. Boy, that's making the rounds, isn't it? Interesting timing. Jason Kelce here, very planned, obviously. Jason Kelce throws it out there to the people. I have been asked to go to the meeting. I'm debating whether or not I should go to the meeting because clearly they didn't do the show live. This was pre-recorded, but they did drop it today, and he knew damn well he was going to be all over the interwebs, all over social media. Let's go out to hear what Jason Kelce had to say. Then we'll kind of come back around here. We'll point out a couple of other things, and we'll probably head out for the day. All right, here's Jason Kelce on New Heights today, talking about the Tush Push and his input.
Lastly, obviously, there's the Tush Push, which they are voting on banning. It feels like this is the most legitimate chance it's had since they've been voting on it to be banned. I'll say this. I'm actually going to Minnesota.
What?
So there were some things said at the last owners meeting. Some of the owners and coaches hinted that the reason I stopped playing was because of the Tush Push and that I got hurt on the Tush Push frequently.
What the f-?
I'm just going to answer any questions people have about my partaking in this play.
So let's start there. So he says this thing about the reason I stopped playing because of the Tush Push, that there was this idea put out there that that's why he retired. Now, remember, he said he doesn't like running the Tush Push. If you go back to like his final season and the Tush Push came up, I think he was mic'd up somewhere. And he said like how much it sucks. And like you could hear him yell like, fuck me, every time they went to run the Tush Push through NFL films, right? But this was a smart play because this isn't him saying, I'm going to go defend the Philadelphia Eagles, the team I played my entire career for. No, he's going there saying, yo, if you're going to like throw shit out about me, you better make sure it's right. If you're going to come at the king, you best not miss. We'll keep going.
Just going to answer any questions people have about my partaking in this play. I don't care whether it gets banned or not. I think
that's a good line, by the way. Regardless of if he actually did want it to survive, taking the somewhat neutral stance, even though he played for the Eagles, is a smart thing, right? It's a good look.
At the end of the day, this is why you vote on things. And if they vote to ban the Tush Push, the Eagles are still going to run quarterback sneak at a very high percentage.
That's the part that a lot of people just seem to gloss over. You have a quarterback that can squat 600, a running back that can squat 500. You have a massive, dominant offensive line. And by the way, Cam Jurgens has now proven, and he proved in his first year taking over Jason Kelce, that he can run that play very effectively, be the anchor on that offensive line. They could run a quarterback sneak at a very high percentage. You'd be stupid to think they couldn't.
92%, exactly.
I'm just going to offer any type of if anybody has any questions about the Tush Push or whether I retired because of the Tush Push, I'll tell you this right now. I'll come out of retirement today if you tell me all I got to do is run 80 Tush Pushes to play in the NFL.
Jason Kelce said he's going to come out of retirement. 610-632-09.
I'll do that gladly. It'll be the easiest job in the world, and it'll be like 80-some snaps.
I can't wait to see a picture of you with a poster that says pro Tush Push. Keep the push. Push my tush. Push my tush.
The funny thing there is we did not get the picture of Jason Kelce with the poster saying, save the Tush Push or whatever. But what we did get instead is an image of Jason Kelce looking dapper, might I add, looking absolutely dapper. Here he is. This is Jason Kelce at the meeting. You can see him looking handsome, big smile on his face. I do have a question. There was a lot of negativity not that long ago. If you recall, there was a lot of negativity around Jason Kelce's comments about the Super Bowl and about the Eagles beating his brother Travis Kelce's Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl. And there were people who wanted to effectively disown Jason Kelce because he wasn't loyal. He should have been loyal to the team that he played for his whole career. What a horrible guy. He's not really a Philly guy. Oh, I want to burn my Jason Kelce jersey. Remember all these assholes? Because there were a lot of them. There were many assholes that were like, Jason Kelce, no. He didn't say the Philadelphia Eagles. He should have said the Eagles. Totally ignoring the fact that his brother is a human being. He's known his brother his whole life. His brother is probably the most important person to him outside of his wife. Okay, cool. You just kind of gloss that over that part. If those people hated Jason Kelce before, but now Jason Kelce went to the owners' meeting and clearly put together some kind of a coherent argument and probably refuted some of the nonsensical points that were thrown out that included his name and a false reason for him retiring, do those people come back now? Like, do the people who disowned Jason Kelce, they come back now into the fold? Do we let them back in? I guess we have to, right? But it's just an interesting point. So there you go. You have Jason Kelce who, on the show said, I don't care if it gets banned or not, but I do want to go clarify some things. And I don't blame him, by the way. It's like the old idea of like, keep my name out your mouth. Like, if you're going to spread falsehoods about me and my career, for Jason Kelce, you should want to take the opportunity to clear the air, right? Now, here's why things got a little bit iffy. This is why things got just a little bit, I don't know what to call it. I don't want to say that it was total bullshit, but there were some things about this that like felt really kind of gross and nasty and made me think that the Diana Rossini initial report that it was going to get banned, part of the reason that a lot of fine folks felt that way is because they moved this meeting. Remember, there's the general meeting for everybody who's at the owners meeting, but the Tush Push vote was moved. It wasn't moved to just being, how do we put this? It wasn't for everyone to vote on. And I mentioned earlier that while you had like a Todd Bowles who publicly said, we're not going to, vote against something just because other teams can't stop it. We want to figure out how to stop it. And just because Steichen said that he was essentially in favor of keeping the Tush Push, kind of a little wink and a nod to his former employer. Those points ended up proving to be pretty interesting. Now, I want to get to why, because I said, it all came down to the owners. Here's why. They moved the vote. The vote went from the wider group to just the owners and Roger Goodell overseeing. Why does that matter? Because apparently in that same owners-only meeting was also going to be the conversation around Roger Goodell's contract. Now, listen, Goodell technically works for the owners. He's the guy who's supposed to be the advocate for the owners, especially when negotiations come up with the Players Association. He is the figurehead of the entire league. He's also the one that takes all the shit when the owners want something. He goes to bat for it. He gets paid a ton of money to do it. So, I feel bad for Roger Goodell, but he's in this meeting. He is viewed to have a lot of power, especially even with other owners, right? So it's this small group of owners, 32 team owners, Roger Goodell, in a small room together. No one else. It's like the conclave, right? And instead of deciding on a new pope, they're deciding on whether or not to ban the Tush Push. And the belief had to be that, well, they tabled this vote from the last meeting. It very clearly was intended to politic, kind of backdoor politic your way into getting the necessary votes to ban the Tush Push. And yet, once the meeting was moved into this owners only 32 owners in the room, plus Roger Goodell, it still went the Eagles' way. The ban was still shot down, which is huge. But that can be tricky. And if you are a team that is worried about your standing with the league, and if you're a team that has maybe wanted to get more primetime games, you're a team that has maybe wanted consideration to host a Super Bowl, do you worry about the adverse ramifications, especially if the league is in some way, shape, or form behind the idea of banning the Tush Push? Now you as an owner go into that room, very small group, and you're still voting in direct opposition to what the league and what Roger Goodell might have wanted. That is an interesting position to be in. So again, when you look at that list of 10 teams, obviously Robert Kraft and the Pats, they have won a ton of Super Bowls. He's not worried about his standing. The Ravens have a long history, have won multiple Super Bowls. They should probably feel good. The Lions are maybe like an interesting one. I'm not going to say that like this idea is the totally sound one and the absolute reason, but I do wonder if there were teams that almost felt the pressure. They felt like the parent was in the room. Roger Goodell was in the room, and they didn't want to disappoint dear old dad. And so they voted in favor of what the league might have wanted rather than what they wanted to do themselves. Hard to know. I do imagine that much like the conclave, no one thought that that list was going to get out, or at least those owners thought, well, if it's only the 32 of us in the room, this vote will not get out. Surprise, surprise, it got out.